Chapter 13. The Man in the White Shirt. 10:02 a.m. The man in the white shirt staggered through the choking gray cloud. He couldn't see where he was going. He couldn't see anything. He nearly crashed into a light bulb that appeared a foot ahead of him. He heard others around him, panting as they ran. Someone slammed into him from behind and disappeared into the cloud. He spun around, disoriented. His eyes stung. He was surrounded by smoke. He couldn't see 5 feet ahead of him. He had no idea which way to run. He picked a direction and started forward, then bounced off something large and rubbery. He stepped back and realized what it was. A huge tire attached to an airplane landing gear. It had been broken off one of the planes and shot through the tower and landed all the way down here on the street. He heard more people running past and followed the sound of their feet. The man in the white shirt ran until the air around him grew bright, and the cloud began to thin. He sprinted for the light, and then he was free, back in the sunshine. 2 fire engines raced past him, sirens blaring. A policeman on the next corner guided the trucks through the crowd, and then continued directing the refugees uptown, away from the disaster, and to safety. The man in the white shirt stopped to catch his breath. Coughing, chest heaving, he looked back at the devastation he had just escaped. One tower continued to burn. Smoke and flame still roared from the upper floors. But where its twin once stood, there was a hole in the sky. Chapter 14. Terror. 11:12 a.m. Safe! Alex casually knocked the dust off his pants just as the pros did on TV. He never really beat the tag. Rex had just dropped the ball on his feet. Still, at a home run's a home run. He glanced at the dugout and to see if Nunu had witnessed his triumph, so he could vouch for his story at dinner. But she found his Game Boy and wasn't paying attention to him. His teammates, though, treated him like a hero. As the game broke up, they pounded on his back. "Your dog rocks," Quan said, patting Rex on the head. "Guys," Doug suddenly looked worried. "Don't tell my mom I had fun, okay? I don't want her making the TV thing a habit." Alex's cell phone started to ring. He dug it out of his pocket and checked the number. His mom. Uh-oh. "Mom, hi, what's up?" "I'm just checking in, wanting to make sure you guys are okay." "We're fine." "No problem on the bus?" "Nuh-uh. What are you doing?" "Nothing." "Then what's all that noise in the background?" I'm messing up with Dougie and, Quan." Alex held up the phone. "Say hi, guys. Hi, Mrs. Douglas. Where's your sister?" "Playing with the Game Boy." "You didn't turn on the TV, did you? Remember what I told you?" "Mom." "Alex, you promised me." "I know, but we haven't watched TV. I promise." "Then when are you coming home?" he asked. I don't know yet. We might get busy." He silently pumped his fists. That meant he still had hours to go before he had explained the dog. "I'll call you later," she said. "Okay. TV off, okay?" "It is off." "And it stays off." "Okay." He waited, hoping she was done. "Is that it?" "I guess so." "I love you, hon." Alex Winston looked at the guys. No way he could answer her back. Yeah, Kate, bye, Mom." He hung up. Dougie grinned at him. "Nice, you totally lied to your mom about being home." "I didn't lie. I just didn't tell her the whole truth." "Mayday, mayday, mayday," Quan urgently cut in. "Bogey's like 2 o'clock. Alex looked around. Jordan McCreevy was standing directly behind him, with Calvin and Deemer backing him up. "Would you look at this? The 3 Musketeers. A geek, a freak, and a crybaby." Alex heard shoes slapping the pavement. Quan and Doug were running away. "A-Dog, come on," Quan said. But Alex stood his ground. Jordan snickered. "Did he just call you a dog?" "A-Dog. It's my call sign on Screaming Eagles 4. Calvin leaned forward, impressed. "You've got a Screaming Eagles 4? Jordan turned his head slightly towards Calvin, who instantly knew he screwed up for speaking without permission. Calvin dropped his eyes to the ground, then folded his arms and glared at Alex like it was his fault. Jordan jerked his chin at the shirt still tied around Alex's head. What are you supposed to be, some kind of raghead? Bet he's one of them, Deemer said. One of who? Said Alex. Deemer gave him a crazy hoot. You don't know? They don't tell crybabies, Jordan explained. Alex felt his face grow red. I'm not a baby, he said through gritted teeth. But you're a jerk. Calvin's eyes got wide. Deemer blinked in surprise. Jordan took a step forward towards Alex. And my dog thinks so too, Alex added. Jordan stopped. What dog? Alex turned back to put his hand on Rex's head, and he touched nothing. He turned. No dog. Alex took off like a fighter jet and launched off an aircraft carrier. Halfway across the park, he glanced over his shoulder. Calvin was huffing and puffing, drenched in sweat, but as he struggled to haul his bulk after Alex. Deemer looked like his limbs were made of springs that sent him lurching ahead in a series of herky-jerky leaps and bounds. But Jordan, tall and lean and log-legged, was closing it fast. Alex knew he couldn't outrun them for long. He veered across the asphalt playground and vaulted over the seesaw and dodged through swing set. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw Deemer angling to cut him off. Up ahead, the playground came to an abrupt end at a railing overlooking a steep drop, where a long stairway led to a lower level of the park. He veered left, straight across Deemer's path. Deemer saw him coming and closed the gap between them in 3 long strides. His hand brushed the tails of Alex's shirt, but Alex felt a burst of adrenaline and sprang free, jumping into the stairwell rail and grinding down the pipe on his heelys, leaving Deemer swinging in an empty air. Alex landed perfectly in the path in the bottom, dropped into a tuck and ground zoomed down the asphalt. When he pulled some distance between them, he had already angled towards the brick restroom building, hoping to duck behind it and hide. As he whipped around the corner of the building, he took one last glance behind. Calvin was yelling at Deemer. They weren't watching him at all. Alex breathed a sigh of relief. The hand caught him on the throat like a clothesline, but his feet kept going. They shot from underneath him as his hand tightened its grip and pulled him upright until he was staring at the cold, blank eyes of Jordan McCreevy. Alex tried to form a word. Nothing came out. He could feel his blood thundering in his head, and then Jordan dropped him like a bag of trash. Alex landed on his knees, gasping for air. He staggered to his neat feet and noticed they weren't alone anymore. Calvin and Deemer had arrived. Jordan nodded at the goons, and Alex was still trying to regain his balance as they grabbed him from behind and yanked his arms back hard. He heard his shoulder pop and saw a flash of white as pain shot through his head like lightning. Jordan stood in front of him. Only his hand moved towards the side. His fingers flexed, then tightened. He drew his arm back and cocked his fist like a hammer. And that's when the dog growled. Jordan froze. He turned his head slowly, just enough to see Rex crouching behind him. Back straight, ears swept forward, tail rigid and taut. Scat! Go away! Jordan mumbled. The dog's ears twitched. He drew back his lips and growled again. Stay, said Alex. Good boy. He's yours? Alex nodded, and Rex growled at Calvin and Deemer. They let go of Alex and stepped back. The dog took a step forward. Jordan flinched. Call him off. I don't think I can. He's wild. Jordan snarled at the goons. What are you mouth readers staring at? Get over here! They didn't move a muscle. Rex took another step. Jordan backed into the brick wall. His eyes darted left and then right and looking for a way out. Call him out! Jordan jabbed his finger at Alex as he said it. The dog read it as a threat and lunged at Jordan. Jordan turned and ran. He blew past as a startled Calvin and Deemer, who fled right behind him. Rex paid them no attention. He bounded past like they were standing still and quickly closed the gap on Jordan, nipping his heels and chasing him out the park and down the block. Alex followed him to the edge of the park. He cupped his hands around his mouth and shouted, "Here, boy!" Rex immediately stopped running. He stared at Jordan until he was certain that the bully wasn't coming back. Then he turned around and came looping it back to Alex. Alex knelt down as his dog sprinted the last few feet and jumped into his arms. Alex hugged him tight, but Rex squirmed and wriggled free and took a step back and dropped something at Alex's feet. Alex saw it and grinned. It was from a back pocket, torn from a pair of jeans. "You are the coolest dog in the world." He bent down and scratched Rex's ears, but the dog jumped back and down, licking Alex in the face as Alex roughhoused with him, celebrating their daring escape. Rex was in mid-jump when Alex suddenly dropped in his tracks. The dog landed on all fours and held still, head tilted on one side, alert to abrupt change in Alex's mood. Alex frowned and stared back at the empty lot. "Where's Nunu?"